unapologetically, I will not negotiate these things with you. Not for one moment, for 1 minute. Because the moment that I negotiate these things, these deeply held beliefs, I trample on everything that that man has worked to put inside of me. I can't do that. I won't do that. Now, I'm sure you came not just to hear me talk, but I'm sure you came to hear some of my thoughts on some of the issues. And so I want to make sure that before we leave today, that I answer your question. Now, I know that a lot of you are burdened, as I am. I will tell you this, in every question that I give you, it is with this understanding of personal responsibility, and that we are where we are in 2010 in this nation because the people have allowed it. We are not a victim nation. We are a nation of laws. We are a nation that determines our future. We are where we are because of the mess that we have made. So now, taking that personal responsibility, brushing ourselves off, dusting ourselves off, getting back in the game, we will now clean up the mess that we have allowed to be made. So know this, every question I answer for you will be based upon that belief, and that belief only. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Explain the fair tax and your position.
The fair tax is, in my opinion, probably the best option out there right now as an option to address the unfairness, is a word, of our current tax code. Right now, our current tax code takes from those who are producing, and those who aren't producing anything don't pay anything. That clearly goes against everything that I hold true. The fair tax says that if we implemented a 23% across the board tax on items that we purchase, that we would eliminate other tax like the estate tax and income tax, that we all would be paying, that everybody as a country, and there's 300 million people that live here, that all of the 300 million people, okay, they're of the age that they buy and sell things, that they would pay that tax. There's a prebate in there, and that prebate adjusts people based on their economic status in our society. So that prebate tries to make the playing field even, to where people pay that which they can pay and not more than they can pay. So I believe that idea, that thought process of the fair tax, to me has probably had more study, more money, more brilliant people to study it, to examine it, to run models on it. There is one thing about it, though, that bothers me greatly. I will always come at the fair tax in the defense of small business. In the defense of small business. There is someone in an office collecting that tax. It is a secretary that I'm paying for. I'm paying her health benefits. I'm paying her retirement benefits. I'm paying her Christmas bonuses. I'm paying the air conditioning, the electricity in her office. And it's about time that the federal government gives me some consideration for that person that I'm having to pay for. And the fair tax, sir, does not do that.
I think that when you collect state tax, you do get reimbursed for some of that.
You don't want me to embarrass you by the menial amount of that, do you?
I don't know what the amount is. I've never run a business.
I've never found it. It's that small. Okay, it is penance. Okay, and so therefore that's my biggest problem. But everything else with that, I like. But a gentleman at our last stop said, "Well, you're already collecting it through other taxes. You'll just keep doing it." Well, just because we've always been doing something I disagree with doesn't mean that that's justification to keep doing it. I want some recognition that small business in this country is doing your job, and when they are, they deserve some kind of credit for that.
Would you vote for it as it is now?
No, they're going to address that issue. They're going to address that issue.
What we have is better than not having that with a small problem in it.
That's like saying choose your poison. First of all, that's a small problem. Okay, I like the fair tax. Okay, but you're going to address that issue.
All right.
And as soon as I say, well, I'd vote for it anyway, Are we gonna address that issue then? You know what? That's called negotiations in business, okay? And I'm not gonna let I had a college professor one time. He was at Troy State University. He told me the first rule of wing walking. Remember back when guys used to go out and used to wing? First rule of wing walking. Never let go of one thing till you got your hand fastly secured to something else. And so, sir, the wing walking rule will apply. You address the benefits to small business, and then I'll address supporting your fair tax. But I'm not going to be flying towards the earth at 140 miles an hour with approving your fair tax and you not addressing business. I like fair tax. And I think of all the bills out there, all the thoughts out there, that's the best one. I don't know if I told you what you wanted to hear, but that's the truth. Yes, sir.
We've been stuck with an individual that sometimes says he's going to do one thing, and he says repeatedly he's going to do the same thing again. And then when the big push comes, he goes with the majority, whether it's good or bad. If you hear from your constituents that this is the way we feel, do you plan to go to Washington and take that belief as a representative of us, not a representative of you?
Sure. Let me say this. I will always do that, but there is a limit there. When the people ask me to do something that violates my deeply held beliefs in my God, in my family, and in my freedom, I will come home. I will not represent you blindly. I will represent you as long as it allows me to be whole, complete,